What up, group? Welcome to LongShot Season 41, War number 6 with DSVG. Goes on pycb. I think they're Italian or something of the sort. No, it's PBT. I don't know what pycb. They're Russian probably, or rushing around to get through us quicker, so we'll see how this goes. So, at the moment, we're not having the best streak. I think we're 3-2. Yeah, we're more wins and losses, but we shouldn't have those two losses. They banned Hercules and surprisingly Tigra and Scorpion. So the usual bans of Torch and CGR are good on the table. So I literally repped for this war, ranked up my ghosts. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to bring my rank for a ghost. And I didn't. So I assigned myself in my pod, because that's what we do in DSVG. We assign ourselves fights and everyone checks. I assigned Titania, Galan, and Absorbing Man for the first time ever in attack in season. My rank 4, 6-100 Absorbing Man, who was on defense last season. So it's exciting. First fight is on path 5. I'm on path 5. This is ebb and flow knockdown. In order to take off the 60% protection from the opponent, you have to do a heavy attack. When fighting against Galan, you have to be careful of his harvest when he's at 100 or more of his harvest charges. So he's at 0, but when he throws a special 1, he gets a 40. In order to make sure he never gets into harvest, I let him throw his special 1 first. So when I throw a special 1, it takes off 30 of his charges. When you throw a special 1, it gives him 40. So in order to just make sure you never get to 100, I need to get my harvest out when he's at below 100. Or just don't let him get to 100, basically. So I'm throwing mine right here. It's going to be at 20. He throws his after. He's going to be at 60. And I think that's when I decide I'm going to start my harvest. So I did a bunch of duels, and this is exactly how I did my duels. If he throws one more before I get to a special, then he gets into harvest, and I take a bunch of harvest damage. So I'm waiting for ebb and flow to turn off. I throw my heavy attack right here. I just hold block to make sure he doesn't hit me. I run in, use my unstoppable, and I turn on harvest with 700 charges and ebb and flow. It's plenty enough to take out this Galan. So again, if you don't let him throw a special first, if you throw it first, you're just wasting, and he's going to go into harvest, and I'm going to take a bunch of harvest damage. So be careful there. And that went exactly as planned. Second fight is ebb and flow knockdown and also heavy hitter. So when he does heavy attacks, he is unstoppable. I cannot counter that as Titania. My goal here is to be buff immune, to never, ever activate Mystic Dispersion, to throw a heavy attack here, and it just doesn't feed into it. So he fits into that one, luckily, with my Haymaker. So I want to use my Haymaker to get my heavy attacks off. I wanted to bait special 1s if I could. I wanted to stagger him with my heavy attacks if I could. But he's just being a jerk. So I'm going to let him have his power gains. Not a big deal. Really not a big deal at all. And I have an invuln for this fight, and hopefully for the next fight too, because I expect after my special 3, he's going to melt. He's going to melt a lot. So I throw out that. It's going to give him a stagger. He doesn't get his power gain, luckily, which is really, it's a useful thing with Titania, but you don't really ever, at least I don't ever utilize that heavy attack stagger. I know there's some people who don't like special 3s with Titania, but that's all I ever do with Titania. So much so that before this war, I don't even remember what a special 1 and special 2 even did. Now, special 2 gives a physical resistance. Try to knock him down. He just feeds into it. Awesome. I'm still unstoppable. Get that off. Throw a special 3 with the ebb and flow knockdown. Extra fury that I get and protection off. Does some good damage. And I'm going to run in here, do a heavy attack. And then I'm just going to do a full combo, and he's just going to melt, and he's done. So a minute down. Keep my invuln for the next fight. Hopefully, kind of what I wanted to use it for was this Nova on node 25. This is Power Snack and Power Sting. So basically, any buff that you get will get nullified, and they get 75% of a bar of power. Unless you have Nullify immune or Buff immune. So I usually use Titania for this node, which I thought about using here. But I have Galan, who is Nullify immune. And he's also Tactic against Nova, who is also Defense Tactic. So this is a perfect fight. My invuln is here because I know he's going to throw a special 3. He's being oddly offensive. And he throws a special 2 layer. Luckily, I haven't done much, and I just want to get a big harvest out. So I'm going to throw a special 1 here. I'm hoping to throw a special 2 into with harvest, but also I need to be careful with my harvest up. I'm unblockable, and it's going to do a little less damage than I really want it to. Because when you're unblockable against Nova, you give him extra charges, and he also limits your attack. So he's throwing 2 mediums here, which when I was dueling, he was doing the same thing. It was just weird how offensive he was. So I'm like, screw it. I'm pushing the special 3. It does nothing to me at all. Throw a special 1. I think the next special I throw is going to be in harvest. He throws a special. Oh no, whatever do I do? It's fine. I have one more. Well, actually, after this fight, I was scheduled to have no more Galan fights, but I ended up getting a fight at the end of the war. We'll talk about that later. At least still boosted, which felt pretty good. Throws a heavy attack, not a big deal. At least he's not a heavy hitter, or I'd be screwed. Wouldn't be able to get out of the corner. He's going to push into his block, push him back a little bit, not a big deal. Get a parry off, not know how. I think I'm going to bait a heavy attack. At least bait a special one if I can, but he's not throwing it. Whatever. I'm going to bait a heavy attack. Do I push back early? I don't. All right. So I want to get off my heavy attack so I can just unleash my harvest. Right here, I'm going to throw a heavy attack. I know that I'm unblockable here. Not a big deal. But I'm hoping the harvest will kill him. And boom, it does. So 107,000 damage. Huge amount. It kills him. And it's weird. Against Galan, Nova is super aggressive with a bunch of just those attacks that he did. He did so much medium attacks and medium to me. But when these other champions dueling, he just throws a medium and backs off. So, weird. Alright, so this is a Doorman versus Terrax. This is the fight he was made for. Daddy Longlegs and SSX is the, I think, content creator for this champion. Content creator is the wrong word. Champion creator, champion designer. Gets off a few hits on me. Not a big deal. Gives me a few more power. I don't really care. He's pausing me. I'm getting a bunch of armor breaks, which is just, it's just wrapping me up. I got my intercept off. I'm going to throw a combo. I thought I had a heavy attack to a special 2 there, but I ended up doing a special 1. Not a big deal because this fight's basically over. I thought I had a special 2 there. I was hoping to keep up my extra resistance from special 2 and had just melt him from incinerates, but he's dead. So it is what it is. You get what you fit. Don't throw a fit. Now there's Valkyrie. I was trying to think, do I want to go Galan or do I want to go Titania versus Valkyrie? Titania has a lot easier ins, but Galan is the attacker tactic, and Valkyrie is defender tactic. So when she hits into your block, she gets a charge, or she gets a combo basically, and she gets above 10 combo. She can hit into she gets a pierce charge, and it's just pierces can be dangerous. Plus, when she gets a pierce charge at 6200, she can hit into unstoppable. Not that. I mean, Galan has unstoppable, which he needs to get the intercept off easily. But with the Haymaker on Titania, it's easier to get my ins, just like right there. Got my ins. I have my ebb and flow up, which is nice. Her protection's down. And I'm just going to just hit the special 3, basically, and bait her special 1s. And when she throws heavy attacks out of nowhere like that, it's weird. It is what it is. So I want to get my intercept off after her special 1. I'm going to push her right here to a special 1. I'm going to wait out my Haymaker. So I have 4 seconds, 1 second for Haymaker. I'm not going to throw it right here. I want to get my Haymaker off. And she gets a flourish. Not a big deal at all. She throws a special 1. I'm going to get my intercept off right here. Intercept right there. It didn't count as an intercept. And now she's getting her combo up. She has 8 hits in her combo because she hit into my block there. Not good. Not what I was looking for. So I now have to wait this out again. I'm going to wait out my Haymaker, get my intercept off, get the protection off, and throw a special 3 and melt her, hopefully. Do I try and get intercept off right here? I do not. I just push her to a special 1, have my Haymaker ready. Let's go. Don't let her get a combo again. Awesome. A few hits, and she is off the protection. And now it's time to just do a bunch of damage. So she is class disadvantage, so I do less damage. Throw a heavy attack here. Luckily, she doesn't get a combo up. Another heavy attack here. A few more hits right here. And she's melting, and just below killing her. Just above, whatever one you want to call her. So I'm going to bait special 2 out here. Hopefully she throws it, because I do not want to throw it. Not that I don't care, but I don't have an invuln for this fight, because I knew that I have a Haymaker, and it's just pointless sometimes to throw it invuln. Get my intercept off nowhere. Throw a special 1, which is the only special 1 I ever throw in season, and she's dead. So pretty easy fight. It's just long because 1, class disadvantage, and 2, Titania isn't a quick attacker. All right, now to this LongShot. I've done this LongShot on this node before in offseason. I've done it on the node before, which is the same nodes on ebb and flow intercept. Got to turn off his protection. Super easy to do with Haymaker. I'm going to back off. I'm going to get my intercept. I'm going to block sept into a intercept, which you see right here. I'm going to block sept, block, and then hit right here. Awesome. I'm indestructible, so I don't care what damage I take from that block sept. And my base special 1s. The cool thing is, with this team, Titania, with the Absorbing Man synergy, she has bleed immune. So if I took a special 1 to the face, which I don't plan to do, but if I do, I will not bleed. I'll be immune. So that is just beautiful. I'm meant for this fight. He has a protection up, not a big deal. I'm going to push him to special 1. It's going to bait out again. Right here, I'm going to try and use my block sept again and probably get intercept off without even having to block sept. So, doing well. Again, he has his Pure of Heart. Oh no, whatever do I do? Just bait special 1 and block the first part, dash out of the second part. Usually you don't want to dash second part because you don't want to activate Mystic Dispersion, but I don't have any buffs at all, so Mystic Dispersion is not an issue for me at all. I'm going to push in the special 1 if I can. Hopefully I can do it before I get my Haymaker. Right here, also I'm pushing special 1, bait out. Perfect timing. I'm going to try and get my block sept right here, or just a regular intercept. I think I got protection off. I don't know. I think I got off in the first one, but I'm not sure. Seeing how much damage to do, I did get it off. They're probably running 5 out of 5 Mystic Dispersion, but it's pointless against Titania because melt. That hit to 10,000, just one hit. Boom, boom, boom. He is melted and done. So the second special 1 I've thrown in the whole season, but LongShot goes down super quickly. That is just as quick as I always do it with Kitty Pryde last season. I'm thinking I would just do it Titania next season when Kitty Pryde is whitelisted, but that went really well. So that war was just basically over for me, but then the person who was going against Sersi with Quake decided they were not as confident because they didn't have a very good war, so I'm like, all right, let me do it with Galan. I asked, they received and said, yes, go for it. Hopefully your duels go well. If they do, then go for it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I put on the 1 potion of the war, which I was hoping not to have to put on, but I did. And I'm going into the Sersi. This Sersi has Vigorous Assault and Safeguard. So you can only do 1% damage with every attack. And with Vigorous Assault, when she is regenning, she's unblockable. And whenever she has her glancing up and you hit her, she regens. So that is dangerous. So I put on a PS1 in case she throws a heavy attack out of nowhere. And I want to nullify it. And with the Attacker tactic, with Galan, I can nullify special 1s. I can nullify any of her buffs. So it's super useful. I'm trying to bait out special 1s. That's kind of my goal, is to bait special 1s if I can. I'm going to parry her right here. I'm going to do a few combos here. Awesome. Same thing. She has 1 flourish buff. Not a big deal. Turn off. I should have held that special 1, to be honest. So in case, just to hold it in case. And she throws a heavy attack out of nowhere. So now she's glancing. So anytime that I hit her, she's going to regen. So I want to get that special 1 if I can. I'm going to push her back if I can. Throws another heavy attack out of nowhere, which she never did in her duels at all, which is weird. She's not Mysterio. But now we're going to hit her freely. Try and get the special 1 if I can. Try and keep her glancing off. I think she throws another heavy attack out of nowhere. Right there. I need to get to my special 1 if I can. And just to throw it. I didn't mean to get that hit. I meant to hit into a block. I'm trying to push her back. I'm trying to bait special 1. But if I hit her, I need to throw my special 1. I thought the dex was off timing, but it's not. I'm running a PS1, not an invuln boost for this fight, so I need to also note that. The good thing about this fight is the Harvest does not care about Safeguard. You bypass Safeguard with Harvest, hence why Galan is good for this node. Being special 1, she throws it. She's being nice. Get my parry off. I did miss parries earlier in the fight. I'm trying to get to my special 2 with Harvest. I know it'll kill her, but I think I get stuck in the corner in a second. Oh yeah, the heavy attack activates her glancing, and I'm like, crap, not what I wanted to do. I'm going to take a few hits in the face in a second. I probably should just parry her, but I couldn't there. Throw a special 1 to nullify all those regens and her glancing. And my Harvest is at 0. Actually, no, the Harvest activated. Sorry, for a second I thought the Harvest didn't activate, but the Incinerates did not activate, which I was kind of pissed about. I wanted the Incinerates to activate. Those were glanced off, but the Harvest was not. The Harvest happened after the special nullified everything. So it is what it is. Now it's just time to just knock her off, do a quick small Harvest while I can, and she is down. So that fight didn't go as planned because she did get her glancing and she did get her regens, but she died. And I had 7 fights this war. I went deathless this war. Another war succeeded from the Union. Just kidding. 7 fights, 0 deaths. I used 2 potions, 1 9k, 1 3k. So hoping that the rest of the season, I get to use less potions. Not that it matters, because I have 11 million loyalty. Yeah, you heard that right. Thank you to the Chinese gifting New Year event. 41 fights so far this season with 1 death against a boss. I swear, the last 2 seasons, the only deaths have been against bosses. If you don't count my bosses, I'm at like 150 streak right now. But it doesn't matter. I'm at 21 streak because of that death to the Quicksilver boss, which I never want to do again. Titania is my main base so far this season with 18 fights, and Galan is slowly going up to second. I might rank 5 Galan. We'll see. Anyways, Path 5, I added Galan and Mordo to this map, as well as adding Nova to node 25, Terrax, and Valkyrie, which I don't really see them as good on those nodes. Seriously, Terrax, he is very aggressive in his Terrax mode, and it's silly. But anyways, I had to finally add a new mini-boss, node 50. So I'm hoping I can touch 48, 49, and 53 by the end of the season, so I can touch every single mini-boss this season, so to say that I am well-rounded. But so far, I think 4 mini-bosses and boss is pretty good for Coop. So good job to pycb. We ended up losing this war against them, as you saw. They had a 0 death against 4 Loki, and they had 3 against us. So we had this war. We could have won, but we had some deaths. But good job to everyone else in DSVG. Great job to all the pods and my pod mates, Miffers and Free to Play Loser. You guys did great. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the seasons. Coop, sign off. Happy gaming.